Hey, it's Aaron, the Metal Theologian. Alright, we're going to do it. We're doing the top 10 records in 1986. Metal records. I couldn't narrow. Well, I probably could, but it'd be bullshit anyway. And, this whole list is kind of bullshit anyway. It was fun to do, but it was tough, man. And I've kind of teased it, so I figured it's time to just fucking shit or get off the pot, right? But, there was so much that came out that year that was so good. I actually found it harder than 84 going through. But part of why is because so many great thrash records came out in 86. I felt like I was putting together a list that was like all thrash. And I still might have done that. I mean, we'll see, We're going to go through it. So, yeah. Alright, so let's start off with a couple of honorable mentions. One of them is playing right now. This is the Image EP. Fucking a cover like that I'm going to freak out over, right? But this is 86. Back's kind of anachronistic looking. I mean, that looks like, a Looking Glass record or something like that, right? But, I like the handwriting and shit. That looks so, dare I say it, cheap. But I love this fucking record, man. This is so good. And this really could have been in the top 10. I mean, I could have. Beyond a certain point, it's arbitrary, So I figure I'll hype it by playing it a little bit here. But Image, I don't even know where these guys were from. Yeah, it doesn't say on here. So someone else might know, but, yeah, they thank friends and family and shit. That's about it. There's no insert or anything. Another sort of obscure one. These guys are from Houston. This is Excel. I don't know if these guys really deserve an honorable mention because this record is really kind of corny, but this is a super ambitious record. They're going for the total prog metal thing, and they don't completely have it. I mean, you compare this to what Merciful Fate was doing a couple years earlier, and but you gotta love it for what it is anyway. You know what I mean? It's a fun record. The songs are cool. It's very rough around the edges, but that just gives it this charm. It's really an awesome record. So Deliver This Dream by Excel, the one and only. And this one, it kind of pains me to only give this one an honorable mention, man. But there's nothing else I can really take out of the 10 that I picked. So as much as I love this record, man, right here, Pleasure to Kill by Creator. I actually probably like this record more than a couple of the ones that made it. But if I'm honest about which ones have kind of been the most important to me over the years, yeah, there's other shit that has to take precedence. So, yeah. Alright, so, well shit, let's get into it, man. I'm actually, sitting here second-guessing myself. Two of these, I pulled, 10 records out, a month ago, right? And then went through, and then I gotta think of one and go, oh shit, And the last one to go in here, I pulled out literally, 2 days ago. I was like, oh fuck, how could I not think of this one? Alright, so here's my number 10. It's the Villain record. Only Time Will Tell. It's private press, but a little more professional looking, right? You even had, really primitive, computer graphics for your font there and shit. See that? Came out on a dot matrix printer or something. So this was pretty high tech compared with the shit Image was doing the same year, right? Yeah, so this was recorded actually in 85 and 86, but it came out in 86. It's 7 tracks. Has a cover of Tie Your Mother Down on it, which I suppose is as good as a Queen cover is going to be in the mid-80s, but feels a little bit unnecessary. But man, this was kind of one of the first, obscure bands that I discovered when I started, digging deeper. You know what I mean? When I got sort of past that threshold where I knew the Metal Blade stuff and the Combat stuff and then the Noise stuff and the fucking you know, the Steam Hammer stuff, and even like the Sri Lanka and the Hot Blood stuff. This was like the next level, you know what I mean? And this is one of the first records that I really fell in love with on that front. So, I don't know, man, I kind of owe this record an eternal debt of gratitude for that. And Kamikaze, very first song, is one of the best fucking metal songs ever. And this whole fucking thing really rocks. It's great. Just Close Your Eyes, I think, is kind of a mellow one, if I remember correctly. I haven't played it in a while, but yeah, but Only Time Will Tell, She'll Make You Fall in Love. It doesn't sound real heavy, but it is. Kids of Crime, great record, man. Fucking start to finish. And there have been reissues of it, too, so I don't think it's too hard to find, but I don't know, man. All the shit, the weird shit that's happened with record prices. Alright. So the next one. Yeah. Darkness Descends by Dark Angel. And this was actually one of the very first records I ever sent away for online. Like in 1998, I think. I found some record store online. Just like, and I was searching like with Alta Vista or some shit like that, right? So I found some store that had a copy of this and a copy of the first Savage record, Loose and Lethal, for like $20 each. And I was like, holy shit, because I hadn't seen one on record in so long at that point. I'd never seen a copy of the Savage. So I like, you know, did what we did in the old days before PayPal, which is go and get a fucking money order at the post office and mail it off. And a couple weeks later, I had these fucking things. I was like, oh, Jesus. So, yeah, so I was a little bit late to this band, I suppose, but still been more than 20 years, so, yeah, I mean, I played this record so much. I actually had a tape that I made, like, that I played in my car around that time, and one side had Bonded by Blood by Exodus, and the other side had this, and I just played that thing every time I was fucking commuting and shit, like, over and over, so I played this record so much, man. Merciless Death. Oh, that's a classic. That's a carryover from the first record, right? Darkness Descends, Death is Certain, Life is Not, has a great gallop. Yeah, The Burning of Sodom. I mean, you just can't argue with any song on this thing, man. It's just a fucking great record from start to finish. And of those two that I was just talking about, maybe ironically, I probably like the Exodus a little bit more. I kind of like, but it's a little bit sloppier and a little bit sort of, I guess a little bit more aggressive sounding, but this one's plenty aggressive, you know, but, yeah, but this record's just so fucking good, and it just belongs here, so. Alright, the next one. This is this is one that, is actually kind of a new one for me with the band, but I've been into the band forever, and that's Roar by Voivod. And I actually bought this record probably no later than like 1990, this actual copy. It has like an insert that I've shown before. Oh, fuck it, I'll pull it out again. It has one of the old like inserts with the order form, the merchandise thing, so it's important record distribution mail order. So if you look at this shit, it has a little dot next to the ones that are combat or combat core. And like, most of them are $6.99, but a few are $7.99, and like, there are even a few weird ones, like, where is it? Yeah, there you go. Oh no, I lied. The Merciful Fate, the first Merciful Fate EP is right there for $7.99. I don't know if you can see it because I'm not holding this thing up right, but, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, like, Seven Churches by Possessed, $6.99. Yeah, the Stormwitch records are all on here, man. Fucking Ruthless, Discipline of Steel, so there's like obscure shit like that. All the Razor records. Yeah, and Vectum, Speed Revolution 2. I had no fucking idea who that was back then, man. Yeah, so anyway, so I've had this record for a long time, but it was sort of a sleeper for me in that I sort of came around on each Voivod record, like one at a time, sort of in the course of my love affair with this band. I mean, the first one I really got into was probably Killing Technology. then probably Nothing Face after that, then probably War and Pain after that. And, like, I got most of these records, like, pretty close to about the same time. And I think the last one I got was Angel Rat, which I bought, God, probably, I don't know, close to 10 years ago now. But that was like no, actually, it's got to be longer than that. Anyway, this one I always liked, but it's really only within the last couple of years that this has become the one that I reach for the most often, because it has all the, like, aggression and, like, sort of the violence of that first one, War and Pain, but it still has that, like, technical edge to it, like that, you know, progressive sort of sound. And, yeah, it's fucking fantastic, man. So, yeah, it's so good. I don't know, man. Given how many, I'm tempted to put it on, but given how many times I had to listen to it before I really got into it, it's not the sort of record I'm going to persuade you of here. It's one of those you just sort of have to keep coming back to, and sort of opens its treasures sort of unfold, like, over the course of time, you know? Let's see if I can get this thing in here. So I think what we're going to put on instead is the next one. This is tough, actually. Looking at this again, it's hard for me to believe I put this higher than Boyhood, so... What number am I on here, actually? I don't even know. 10, 9, 8. So this is number 7. And it's funny, because Mr. Allen from Let's Talk Metal just talked about this one, but this is sort of one of the classic, you know, private pressed metal records. This is one of those ones where, at least, you know, 20 years ago, if you're collecting this kind of shit, it was kind of one of the first ones that you would come across. So this is Betrayer of Kings by Salem's Witch. Witch spelled funny. And these guys have a real sort of 70s vibe. It's funny because the band, like, Image that we just listened to probably looks more 70s, but these guys kind of sound a little more 70s, but they have some progressive moves too. And mostly they just rock on, like, every song, you know? And it's overflowing with sincerity, man. Like, this is so earnest. I mean, just the playing before you even start singing. How can you argue with that, man? Yeah, Salem's Witch, man. There it is. What a great cover, right? On Metal War Records. Records and tapes, it says, actually. I don't know if the tape actually exists. There's one song that's a little bit of a clunker. All Hail to the Queen kind of goes on a little bit too long. Like, it's sort of a slow jam anyway. But it's not bad. It just kind of overstays its welcome a little bit. But, you know, some of it doesn't fucking matter because it's so good. Yeah, I love this record. And it's a record that, you know, again, like, there might be another one where every song is perfect, but this one's just close to my heart as far as, like, the effect it had on me when I got into this shit, you know? So, alright, number 4, 5, yeah, number 6, that's what I thought. You'd think I could remember, like, from record to record, but no. Yeah, this is another one I've hyped before. Got reissued not too long ago, so it's a lot easier to find now. But this is Take the Night by Leathernung. And this is one of, like, very few records that's like glam writing, but heavy playing. And just sounds so fucking fantastic for it. I think, like, the closest, like, mainstream thing to that sound is Shout at the Devil, probably, by Motley Crue, because it's, like, total glam writing, but it's mostly played heavy. It still kind of wusses out a little bit on that Crue record, which is actually my favorite one. I like that one more than the first one. But, they kind of get that vibe, but Leathernung, man, they have it all the way through, man. From Fool's Way Out through to Mental Asylum. Yeah, 9 songs of perfection. And you gotta love the guy named Jungle Jim Mame. Yeah, these guys are from Jacksonville, Florida. And, yeah, it's just fucking awesome, man. So, yeah, very rockin' record, very happening. If you like anything that's like... Well, I don't know, I mean, it's sort of like, I put this on once and was calling it like a glam thing, so it's better than fucking glam. What the fuck are you talking about? So... It's as close as I get to glam records that I really love, as opposed to ones where I'm somewhere between tolerating them and kind of liking them. You know, that's kind of how I roll. And I suppose that's what 86 was kind of about, because that's when that real sort of bifurcation happened. I was talking about this with Chromie D, but like, you know, the popular shit became really pop, and everything else was like the total thrash backlash. And this thing is, well, it's pretty obvious which side I come down on, so. Alright, so the next one, quite possibly my favorite record by Manila Road, which is one of my favorite metal bands, maybe my very favorite. It's hard to say, but I really love every Manila Road record. I mean, I like some more than others, right? But there aren't many bands that have as many records that are great as Manila Road. Judas Priest, maybe, you know, but you have to go to that level. I mean, Megadeath, forget it, you know. So yeah, The Deluge by Manila Road. This has Divine Victim on it, which might be my favorite song by them. And it's just, it's like their really sort of progressive sound before they went into the sort of more speed metal thing that they did on the next couple of records after this. Just fully realized while they're still young and hungry, and before like Mark Shelton fucked his voice up in that. And they made great records long after this one. You know, so I don't think this is like implied shitting on it, the later stuff, but this record is just such a classic. On Black Dragon out of France. I don't think there was ever a US release of this one on Roadster or any other label. They were still on Roadster in the States at that point. Yeah, it's close between this one and Crystal Logic for me. But it's tough, man. So anyway, that's in that spot. Now, I'd probably like that one more than this next record that's coming up. But this next one, as far as how much I played it, it has to be near the top. So this is number 4, I think, that we're at right now, right? It was Eternal Devastation by Destruction. What a great cover, right? This is a Metal Blade press. And I always thought it was funny. One of my favorite things about this record, it's so stupid, is, you know, they always, like, thank their other bands, right? Like, bands they toured with or whatever. So Slayer, Exodus, Celtic Frost, Iron Angel, Necronomicon. Yeah, and then Nasty Sausage. Nasty Savage. So Nasty Sausage, I just think is fucking hilarious. So yeah, like if you look at this compared to the earlier ones, it's like they're kind of done with the black metal thing that they were doing, like the early first wave black metal thing that they did on the first LP and on Sentence of Death. But man, this is the record that got me into them. Like this is the first Destruction record I heard. I was like, holy shit, and I had my mind blown by it. And again, I played this a fuckload, man. Great record. Great record. Next one might surprise some of y'all, because this is kind of a band that I've shit on kind of a lot. But, this record, man, not only is it my favorite Megadeth record, but this is really... In a way, it's my favorite kind of thrash, because a lot of times my favorite thrash record, my favorite thrash songs are the ones where the thrash band slows it down a little bit. And this record definitely has fast parts, but it isn't all that fast, like, compared to some of the other bands that are in that category, like an Anthrax record or something from the same era, you know? I ain't superstitious, I could do without, you know? Again, as always, the cover, right? It's like a joke cover, no less, you know? And, it's kind of crap, but man, I played this so much. Jesus Christ. And then I got pissed because I thought Mustaine was a prick. So I actually got rid of my Megadeth records. Then I got this at some point again, like really cheap. This isn't a great copy, but I paid like less than $5 for it. And actually it might have been $6. It was a long time ago. I was living in LA. But yeah, I mean, fucking the more I play it, the more I just remember how much I loved it and continue to love it, you know? Like, I mean, Peace Sells is kind of the big hit, which is almost overplayed, but like Devil's Island, or The Conjuring, or My Last Words, just about every song on here is fucking fantastic, man. Alright, this next one, in the number 2 slot, I could have put this in the number 1 slot, except I couldn't put it in the number 1 slot, and that'll make sense in a minute, if you haven't already figured it out. But actually, I'm going to put this one on for a minute. Because this next one here is just so fucking good. This is another one that just blew my mind. You know what this one sounds like? This isn't even really a thrash record. It's more of like sort of straight ahead metal record, but it sounds like when a fucking thrash band's slowing down, you know what I mean? Fucking one of the best screamers in the business as far as a singer goes. And they're French-Canadian, so we have 2 French-Canadian bands in here, right? Because we have fucking Voivod, too, right? So let's cue this up. And maybe you'll recognize it if you're really good. Because hopefully y'all have this. Yeah, this thing. I love the like uncommon like timing here. Usually they play the opening riff twice before they come in like that, but they only did it once. For the phrase, you know what I mean? So this is the Mighty Outbreak with their classic album Masterstroke. Now, if you go look at these guys up, you'll quickly find that they played around with some World War II themes. This is not like a white power band though, any more than the Dead Boys were, so don't let that scare you off, because this is one of the fucking funniest things ever. And the German sucks, by the way. Look, they spelled Krieg wrong. But yeah, fucking... It's so heavy. Rocks so hard. It has these unusual rhythms in it. So it's like just quirky enough to keep your attention. It's eccentric. And the back is really stupid. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, I know this is a private press, but, yeah. Quebec City, oh wait, yeah, Quebec City it looks like. Ah, fuck it. So, yeah. Fucking Outbreak, man. Listen to this fucking chorus, though. Sounds fucking insane. He's like barely in tune. He's like it's almost falling apart. So fucking good, man. God, I love this record. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I could have put this in the top spot. But the top spot, #1 record of 1986, probably isn't going to surprise anyone. There's no record I've played more than this. It's one of those records where when I start it, I have to play it all the way through. And it only takes me a half hour, right? I mean, everything about this record is great. Well, I mean, that back cover picture's a little bit stupid and dated, but that front cover painting, Jesus, that was so intimidating back in the day. It's funny, Vinyl Richie, I just watched his last video where he was, did a Metal Mickey contest entry, and he was like, yeah, the whole, like, Ozzy being scary thing, I didn't see that. And I was like, dude, you're gonna be a dick, but you're like 10 or 15 years older than me, that's why. If you were like fucking 10, and you were hearing these stories, you were like, you know? And like all this fucking hype, like Geraldo and shit, like, oh, Ozzy is so scary and shit. And you're a little kid, you're like, fuck, you know? So someone comes along with something like this, and even like then, like Ozzy's like, whatever, you know? This record is so intense, like every fucking note on this record is so intense. The production is perfect, it has so much meat, and it's just so savage. It's like, I mean, I love Slayer, they're one of my favorite bands anyway, right? I remember what a disappointment South of Heaven felt like. Retrospectively, people have come to like it a lot more, but at the time, people said they were ripping off Metallica. I don't really hear that in that record, honestly, but I had friends who were saying that and shit, and I think I even read it in a couple places. But after a record like this, man, what do you do? I mean, there's just nowhere to go from here. You know, I mean, you can go off and, like, invent death metal or something, but for what this is, it's like, it's kind of the ultimate. So, #1 spot goes to Slayer. And yeah. Can't be Rain and Blood. So that's it. Top 10 in 1986. I kind of over-teased this, I think, for what it is. But fuck it, man. It was fun to do. Hope you got a couple laughs. I reserve the right to make another one in a year or two, or maybe next week, and have 10 completely different ones. Oh, that Slayer record's still going to be on top. And so is Outbreak. It's fucking nuts. I'm going to bump this ahead to the next song. Just give you a little more taste of this. Y'all know what the Slayer sounds like. I don't have to hype them, you know. So chunky. So funny. Fucking French Canadians. I was talking with Chromie D recently too, saying I could totally see Kaiser Fist, who's a singer, like bringing him a casserole, like being like the friendly neighbor, you know, shit like that. But yeah. All right. Yeah. Subscribe to Chromie Backside Radio, by the way. I hope you already are, but. Yeah, I've got nothing else. It's so good. Alright, thanks for watching. Try and pick a fight with me in the comments if you want, but I'll win. I'm just warning you. Take care. Thanks for watching.